blowing the ram's horn, or shofar as it's also known, is something very important in the Jewish faith. It has a number of meanings. It's often used on major festivals, Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah. One of the meanings is that the sound connects deeply with one's inner being, and one's relationship with God seems to be awoken, and there's a sense within the sound of the connection with God. So connection with God is what the Holy Spirit chapters are all about. Chapters 16 to 19 all deal with the Holy Spirit. And my encouragement to you is to take time out to do these chapters. Ideally, take a weekend, or if a weekend is not possible, take a full day, a Holy Spirit day or a Holy Spirit weekend. And to add to the meaning of the time, come to a retreat center to do the chapters, or someone's garden. If you're a small group, you can go to one of the members of your group, their garden. Ideally, you need some space where you can spend time in reflection. I want to give you a picture for a Holy Spirit day or a Holy Spirit weekend. And the picture is this. Imagine two people who love each other very, very much, but they've been separated by a large distance. Perhaps one of them has emigrated. And they do have contact, WhatsApp and phone calls and so on. But things have happened in your life, and you're waiting for a face-to-face time with that person before you're going to be able to open up about what has happened. And so I want that to be a metaphor for your Holy Spirit day or your Holy Spirit weekend. I want to suggest that you see it as a time where you are really going to open up to God. That of course you've had contact with God, you've been in relationship with God all along through however the last period has been. But now on your Holy Spirit day, Holy Spirit weekend, you're going to open up more deeply about what's going on in your life. You're going to offer the cry of your heart to God. You're going to make sure that the day or the weekend really counts. And so I share that story with you to kind of prompt you about the intentionality for the day. Let it really count, or the weekend. So there are 4 chapters that focus on the Holy Spirit, chapter 16, 17, 18, and 19. I have made 6 videos of these 4 chapters. 1 video for chapter 16, 2 videos for chapter 17, 2 videos for chapter 18, and 1 video for chapter 19. The purpose of the 2 videos for chapter 17 and 18 are to make sure that there is a video per relationship of life, so that we are able to focus in turn on each of the 4 relationships of life. Plus then there is this video, which is in some ways a 7th video, a practical guideline video to your Holy Spirit day or your Holy Spirit weekend. So can I make some practical suggestions now for you? So it's really important to, on the Holy Spirit day or the Holy Spirit weekend, to have time for reflection. So I suggest in your program that you watch a video, and then have about 45 minutes of reflection. In my experience, you can have, even if you're only doing it a Holy Spirit day, you can have 45 minutes of reflection after each video. And this is where a retreat center or a large garden is helpful, so that each person can have their own space for reflection. At the end of each chapter, I have guidelines for that time of reflection. Don't try and do all of the guidelines, all of the suggestions. You just need to choose one suggestion per time of reflection. And so then you can structure your day, and you can fit in some tea times and your lunch time into that. I have found that it's not helpful to do group discussion times on a Holy Spirit day or a Holy Spirit weekend. The group discussions gets one into, a kind of debating mode, and that's not the mode you really want to be in on these kinds of events. It is important to have time for worship on these events. So make sure that you are going to sing together and pray together in worship. If you need music, then arrange for either pre-recorded or musicians with you, but do make sure you have a time of worship. Then also a time of prayer, in the sense of ministering to each other, praying for each other's needs. One of the ways in which I suggest you do this is to break up into small groups of 3. And then in those 3s, each person has a turn to request prayer and be prayed for by the other 2. Then it's useful somewhere in the day, perhaps towards the end of the day, to actually have the whole group together, and to have for that time to be led by someone who can minister in the Spirit to the group. If you have members of your congregation who are people who are part of your prayer ministry team and are trained and gifted in ministry in the Spirit, then hopefully they are part of the day, or if they are not, invite them to that closing part of the day where people can be prayed for according to their needs. Then what is also very important on this kind of day is to end the day with a symbolic act. And I have found the use of fire very helpful with this. So you can even have a bonfire, and people write down things on the piece of paper and then put that into the fire. What kinds of things would you encourage people to write down? So Matthew 3 speaks about certain branches that must be cut off and put in the fire. So what are the sins? What are the habits? What are the people you haven't been able to forgive and that you need to forgive? Wherein is your life trapped? Write those things down on a piece of paper and put that in the fire in a prayerful way. Obviously, this is happening in a prayerful context. Then also, fire is of course a symbol of light, so there might be things in your life that you need enlightenment in, you need guidance. You could write that on a piece of paper and put that in the fire. Perhaps similar to sins, there might be areas that you are needing transformation, because of course fire is a symbol of transformation, and you could write that on a piece of paper. Areas that you're needing to change, and you're seeking God by God's Spirit to bring about that change in your life. If you are not doing the Holy Spirit chapters on a retreat day or a weekend, then you would do the videos 1 per week. And you would then decide when you get to chapter 17 and 18, are you going to do 2 videos at that meeting or 1 per week? So I want to close this practical guideline video with blowing the shofar again. And the reason why I want to blow the shofar now is because one of the symbols of the shofar is that it's a wake-up call. And And I want you to sense as you go into this very important part of the missing Jesus, finding the shepherd we lost journey, the Holy Spirit chapters. I want you to sense a wake-up call. I want you to hear a wake-up call. Wake up to the reality of God. Wake up to the kingdom that has come and your role in the kingdom. Wake up to your purpose in life, your meaning in life. Wake up in your relationship with God.